Thank you, Penny. Good morning. Here are the main stories in the Northwest. Former Deputy Prime Minister John Prescott says the government shouldn't have scrapped plans to build the country's first super casino in Manchester. But Mr Prescott admits he would have preferred to have seen it built in Blackpool and believes Gordon Brown was wrong to throw out the proposals.
That's a judgment he can make as a Prime Minister. I had no criticism of that. If you ask me what my position was, you've just done that, I was a supporter of Blackpool. I think the regeneration of that place was absolutely critical. But you'll not get that unless a lot of capital comes in to build new hotels, new conference centres. And whilst it's said that we still want to look at the regeneration, perhaps we can live in hope of that. But no, we have different positions.
Police investigating the murder of 15-year-old Jesse James in Manchester have repeated they'll protect any witness who comes forward with information. 2 men arrested in connection with the shooting have been released without charge. The Crown Prosecution Service says it didn't have enough evidence to prosecute them. Greater Manchester Police are investigating a shooting in Bury in which a man was shot in the arm and leg. It happened on Walmersley Road last night. The 31-year-old is being treated in hospital, but his injuries aren't life-threatening. A man from Liverpool who was severely injured after being struck by lightning has defied the odds by becoming a father-to-be. Campbell Gillespie suffered blood clots to his brain and injuries to his body following the incident 4 years ago. Doctors told him he could never have children, but his fiancée Hazel is now 7 months pregnant.
I pray every day. I thank God I'm alive. I thank Him for my unborn child, my beautiful bride-to-be. And I just clap myself as one of the luckiest guys on the planet, not just in this country, on the planet.
Football now. 5 North West clubs are in action in the Carling Cup tonight. Blackpool, Burnley, Liverpool and Morecambe all have third-round ties, while Manchester City welcome Norwich to Eastlands.
I have on my desk 4 reports about Norwich, and we have video. The players before lunch tomorrow are going to see a video. The preparation is exactly the same. We're not thinking that we will have an easy evening.
I'm back at 7:05. In a moment, we'll rejoin the GMTV sofa, but first, a look at the region's weather.
Be ready for all changing light conditions. Here's the weather forecast, brought to you by Transitions Lenses.
Many places will get off to a dull start with showers, but this afternoon that rain will gradually move south. Temperatures of 15 degrees Celsius.
Hello again, 7:10 on this Tuesday morning. And Gordon Brown says he wants to take the NHS into a new era and make it personal to you. Well, the man with the task of trying to achieve that falls to the Health Secretary, Alan Johnson. He is down in Bournemouth, of course. Where else would he be during Labour Party conference? Morning to you, Alan.
Good morning, Fiona.
Well, a rousing speech by the Prime Minister yesterday with the NHS very much at the heart of it, Alan, promising all sorts of things, referrals to consultants taking days rather than months, X-ray results more quickly, more cancer screening, more matrons, more cleanliness, more health checks. It's an exhausting list of stuff. Are you ready for the task?
Oh, absolutely, and I'll be returning to some of those themes in my speech this morning, but you know, we've spent a long time putting the capacity into the NHS, more staff, trebled the amount of funding going to the NHS, waiting lists have come down. We now need to move to a new era where we concentrate absolutely remorselessly on patient care. And I think from our discussions we've had around the country with people who work in the NHS and with patient representatives, everybody's up to move to this next stage. And that's really what Gordon was signalling yesterday.
All right, but you can't move into the next stage until you've had this deep clean of hospitals, can you really? You said patient care was the most important, and that cleanliness of hospitals surely is the most important related to patient care. But how are you going to carry this out? And I think what surprised most people is that isn't just regulation anyway. Surely hospitals should be being deep cleaned on a regular basis.
Well, some do, which is why we know it's possible, so it's best practice, if you like. But of course it must be seen in isolation. You're quite right, Fiona. This is the most important concern for the public, I think, hospital-acquired infections. And we've announced a number of things, the most important being that you need to wash your hands. Clinicians need to wash their hands, visitors who come in need to wash their hands. And so this deep clean has to be seen in the context of a whole range of other measures, and I'll be announcing some more this morning, to really tackle this problem. We've already had a lot of success in reducing the incidence of MRSA, but I don't want to get it down. We've got a target of reducing it by 50%. I want to get it down to 0, and there's hospitals who manage that, and I think deep clean will make an important contribution.
Yeah, and in the Netherlands, they have cracked it. I mean, in the last 10 years, they have virtually eradicated MRSA. And why haven't you done that in the last 10 years?
If you look back at the history of this, you'll see that the Netherlands were doing things back in the early 90s when there was a real chance to kind of eradicate this completely and get in early. We didn't do that. But the Netherlands is a good example. It won't happen overnight. This is a global issue, but the Netherlands is a good example that actually if you concentrate all your resources together, if you've got a coordinated approach, you can do it. Much smaller health service there in different circumstances, but I think they're a bit of a kind of lodestar for us here.
Yeah, and you're talking about more matrons, regulations for cleaners and possible fines for hospitals if the cleanliness isn't up to scratch. How are you going to police all this, Alan? I mean, and why are you not screening health workers on regularly like they have done in the Netherlands to stop this happening in the first place?
Well, screening can make a contribution as well, and we're looking at that, and many hospitals do screen. But when you say how we police this, in terms of matrons, they're the experts because the cleanliness of their ward is very important to them, and usually they have a number of wards to deal with, but they don't, often their voice isn't heard in the higher echelons of the hospital. So we've said that at least quarterly, the matron's report must go to the NHS Trust Board. So there's no need for motivation there, but the regulator, of course, will play a very important role to ensure that all of this is operating properly and ensure that it's properly policed.
All right. I don't know if you've heard about this survey out today, which says that 1 in 6 doctors have seen patients die because of rationing in NHS resources, which isn't really acceptable, is it?
Well, I have seen it, but you have to just bear in mind, this is a very small survey which drew a very small response. 12,000 papers went out and only 1,000 were returned, but that's why we set up the National Institute for Clinical Excellence. People all around the world, including the Netherlands that we were just mentioning, are trying to replicate the National Institute for Clinical Excellence because it means that in terms of which drugs come onto the market and which clinical treatments, it's not in the hands of politicians or bureaucrats, it's in the hands of experts and clinicians.
All right, but there's still very much the sense that it's a bit of a postcode lottery as to where you live, depends on whether you do live, to put it bluntly.
Well, the thing about NICE is that once they decide that a treatment or a drug should be used in the NHS, then everyone in the NHS within 3 months must comply with that and must make it available. But you know, there's not infinite resources. Although we've trebled the amount of money going into the NHS, as health services around the world know, you have to have a system to ensure that you're bringing drugs on the market properly, that they're cost effective, that they actually work, that they'll fulfill their ambitions. And that's the job that NICE do. And I can't overemphasize the fact that NICE really is a world leader, and we'd interfere with it, I think, at our peril.
All right, so that situation's not going to change much, really. All drugs for all people will never be a reality.
Well, I think we do pretty well in this country, but there cannot be a situation where you just allow everything onto the market, including drugs that wouldn't actually work. You have to have a control of this process. That's what happens in every health service in the world, and it happens here much more effectively than it happens elsewhere.
I think, Alan, a huge concern for a lot of people is perinatal, is pregnancy care. I mean, there's a study this morning, again, a big study, a 10-year study from the Perinatal Institute in Birmingham, which reveals that claims for medical negligence related to NHS childbirth stands at a staggering 4.5 billion. But what's even more disturbing is that babies starved of oxygen at birth, which go on to develop cerebral palsy, the study puts a lot of that down to staff shortages, i.e. these babies are starved of oxygen at birth because there aren't enough staff to cope with the birthing process.
Well, we've got a piece of work called Maternity Matters that we've worked up with the Royal College of Midwives and other clinicians that we're just implementing. And the number of staff, in terms of midwives, the number of staff everywhere in the NHS has increased dramatically, 280,000 extra staff in total. But there are areas where we could introduce improvements. We do need more midwives, we need more community nurses, and what Maternity Matters is all about is giving genuine choice to mothers as to where they have their babies and giving a much more personal service with a midwife attached to the mother long before the actual date of birth. So there are improvements to be made, but in terms of staff, you just have to look at the statistics to see how many more staff we have now than when we came into government 10 years ago.
All right then, Alan, you're going to be needing all those staff at the Department of Health to carry out all these measures. Nice to see you this morning, anyway. Thanks very much indeed.
Thanks very much, Fiona.
Thank you.
Time is 18 minutes past 7. These are the main headlines that you're waking up to this morning. The Health Secretary, Alan Johnson, has told GMTV that he wants to focus on patient care and eradicating hospital superbugs as he prepares to speak to the Labour Party conference in Bournemouth. British troops serving in Iraq and Afghanistan are to get a council tax rebate of up to £140 under new plans from the government. And today's weather, it'll be cool and blustery with a mix of sun and showers today. There's a chance of hail in the southern and eastern parts.
Hail, did you say?
There's some hail coming after all this sunshine. Haven't known this all.
All right, and we've got Britney Spears as well, as if hail weren't enough. Her former bodyguard, more precisely, he claims she's a drug-taking alcoholic.
Yeah, talking to him. And straight after the break, we're going to be talking to a real live hero, John Smeaton, the baggage handler from Glasgow Airport, who selflessly risked his own life to restrain a would-be terrorist. He was held up as a hero yesterday.
Pass the glamorous grand test? Is economy food actually a healthier choice? How do you find jeans that really flatter? With 180 packed pages, find out in Yours magazine. It's the read of your life. Out now.
Ruby, 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 Ruby! These are the anthems 07. With number ones from Razorlight and Kaiser Chiefs, plus Kate Nash.
Tips are holding onto the cracks in our foundation.
Huge hits from Maroon 5, Amy Winehouse, The Killers and The Feeling. The best bands and the biggest tracks. Get the Anthems 07 out now.
If you're only brushing and flossing, add Listerine Total Care for total oral health. It works in 6 different ways, breaking through plaque, keeping teeth strong and white, maintaining healthy gums, killing germs, and freshening your breath. New Listerine Total Care, the most advanced Listerine ever for total oral health.
G'day. I hear you need some help painting the flat.
Rolf?
Yeah, have you got any paint and rollers?
No. Wooly, nip down to Woolworths and get some from their new Worth It value range. Paint and rollers? Hello? Do you get the paint stuff then?
No, look! I got a Spider-Man mask and a web blaster instead!
The new Worth It value range. Hundreds of everyday essentials at ridiculously low prices.
Can you tell what you are yet?
Don't be fooled, Gov. She looks whiter than white, but she's no angel.
What's the charge?
Snacking without due care and attention.
New Thai sweet chilli splendips.
Indecently delicious rice crackers with criminally cool, creamy filly and yummy chilli sauce.
And less than 3% fat. The lowest fat splendips yet. You're free to go now. I'll look after the evidence.
New Thai sweet chilli splendips. Devilishly tasty. Angelically light.
This year at Morrison's, we've cut over 20,000 prices. And right now you'll find over 100 buy one, get one frees. And over 1,000 great offers. Like 24 cans of Foster's Lager for only $10.99. Cheers! Morrison's, savings for you.
Knock, knock. Kate caught you. Having dinner with Samantha tonight. It'd be really good if you could join us.
Oh.
People! What's the problem, girlfriend?
It's the new series of Prison Break tonight, and the boss wants her to go for dinner.
We got Sky Plus?
Good question.
Appreciate it. Memory Bank. We got Sky Plus?
Yes.
Cool. Right hand to mobile phone. We're gonna record Prison Break and go for dinner, huh?
Because you want to be in 2 places at once, we improved Sky Plus, so you can record from your mobile. Sky. Believe in better.
Later, from Essex girl to Queen of Drama, Dame Helen Mirren revealing all about her incredible life and why it took her 50 years to find a husband.
With all the backstage gossip from last night's Inside Soap Awards.
Plus, we meet the happily married mother of 4 who has a secret life as a high-class prostitute. That's this morning, 10:30.
Hi there, we've got a real-life hero for you this morning. John Smeaton was the baggage handler. Look up, John. There you go. He was the baggage handler at Glasgow. He's a bit of a reluctant hero at that. He selflessly risked his own life to restrain a would-be terrorist who ploughed a burning vehicle into the terminal building earlier this year. Who can forget that moment? Yesterday, he earned a very special mention from the Prime Minister.
When the terrorists tried to attack Scotland's biggest airport, they were answered by the courage of the police and of the firefighters and a baggage handler named John Smeaton. He came today with a policeman under assault from one of the terrorists. Later, John told me it was instinctive. He was just doing what was right. That man, that hero, John Smeaton, is here with us today, and on behalf of our country, John, we thank you.
Here he is now. Wow, that must have been quite a moment.
Oh, it was unbelievable. You know, yeah, I don't think you can get a better accolade than getting mentioned in the Prime Minister's speech, you know. So.
His very first one as well.
Yeah,
There you go. Everyone's watching, everyone's sitting there.
I know. It was just unbelievable. It was a great experience, but very surreal, very surreal.
Had he told you that he was going to get you to stand up and...
No, I get told nothing about that at all.
He literally said, John, I'd like to come down and be a part of the conference.
Yeah, come down and experience it, you know, and as I say, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it at all. It was really interesting, I must admit, you know. It was just seeing like, all the people. Oh, I've seen him in the telly. Oh, I've seen him in the telly. You know, so it was a great experience, you know.
And you were sitting next to the Prime Minister's wife?
Yeah.
And so who was more nervous, you or her?
I don't know, you know. I think the two of us were both standing there, you know, but it was great. Sarah was really nice. She was really nice, and she actually put me at ease straight away, you know, so... You know, had a wee chit-chat and it was great, yeah.
Obviously, it was an extraordinary moment yesterday when you got your accolade, but if I can take you back to the day when it all happened, because it's the first time we've had a chance to talk to you. Yeah. You mentioned, and you've been very honest, that it wasn't just you that was involved at that moment, but what was going through your mind when you suddenly saw this car sort of flying into the...
I didn't actually see it going in. I just came round the corner after it crashed in at the front of the building, and I actually thought it was like a car accident. That was my initial reaction, was it was a car accident, and I just thought, I'll just stand here and make sure, you know, the public come by me, and I'll just stand make sure nobody comes. And I seen the guy hitting the police officer, and I just snapped and just ran at him. You know, I just thought help the police officer.
Was it because he was a police officer there, or was it sort of natural instinct? Do you think it's?
I don't know. I don't think you can stand back and watch a police officer getting attacked. I don't think it's one of those things you can do. You know, people might say, oh, it's, you know, but the police are there to protect us. You know, and they're there for our own protection. And I'm pretty sure if you were in trouble, the police would come and help you. So if you see a policeman in trouble, it's your civic duty to go and help them. You know, that's what you're there to do, you know.
And suddenly when you see the policeman, as you say, who's there to protect us, there's sort of a sign of authority and protection. See them being attacked, did you think this is more than just a car accident that's gone wrong?
Actually,
any idea that it could be
that time I actually thought it was road rage. I actually thought it was maybe a bit of road rage. It wasn't until I ran in and then what was about me, that's when it just clicked right into my head, and I was like, oh my, I can't believe this is happening. You know, it's going through your head, but you're not thinking about it. No. You're more thinking about the situation in hand. You know, Michael was lying there, Alex was running in, Stephen was running in, so, you know, it was just, I just seen this, when I seen the situation, just couldn't believe it and just thought, right, Michael's hurt. Get Michael out of the way, and that was it.
You've had to think about it quite a lot since because everybody wants to talk to you about it. Do you think if you were sort of in that position again, you would react differently with hindsight?
Hindsight's a great thing, do you know what I mean? But I didn't think about it. I just snap, you know, click of the fingers, go that way or go that way, and I just went that way. I just went to help the police officers. That was the only thing I could think of doing, was helping the police officer. You know?
Well, obviously, sort of, we're very proud of what you did over here, but you also got to go to New York recently as well.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Why did you go out there?
I was invited by Alan Bain and Heather Bain from the Scottish American Foundation. They invited me over to the 9/11 ceremony at Hanover Square in New York, at the British Memorial Garden. And that was the most poignant, humbling moment in my entire life. You know, it was... You know,
very moving.
You get to, you know, you see it on the television, you know, and then when you get to New York and you go to Ground Zero and you actually realise the magnitude of how big this actually was, it is unbelievable.
You had a great reaction though as well. I understand there was some banners in the crowd saying the Smeetonator.
Has arrived.
All the Yanks were cheering your name.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was quite funny actually, but you know, I'm just a baggage handler at the end of the day, do you know what I mean? That's all I am.
A baggage handler that has had 1,400 pints pledged to you on the internet. There was a buy Smeeto a pint. You're not going to manage all those 1,400?
No, I've donated half of the money to Erskine Hospital, which looks after ex-servicemen and veterans.
Great.
And I've got money to give to the police benevolent funds, and I've got money to give to the fire service benevolent funds.
Well, look, you're an example to all of us, John. It's a real pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much for coming in and sharing your story with us.
Cheers, thank you.
And I'm sure we'll see a lot more of you as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you, cheers.
So you look like a star. I wet that picture we had of you earlier on with all the cameras snapping your picture.
Nothing's going to happen. Have you started signing autographs yet? Have you had people stopping your photos?
People asking me for autographs, everything.
It's a celebrity now. How about the girls, John? Is it paying off?
No, I want his photo. I want one of your photos.
Lorraine was sniffing around the green room looking for him as well.
Yeah. She doesn't sniff much.
She doesn't, not anymore.
It's a rare sniff. They're drawn to each other, the Scots, though, aren't they? Do you think that's what it is?
That's exactly what it is. There's a whirlwind of celebrity right here.
Oh, you've led me into the weather.
How did I do that?
A whirlwind. Hail, Claire, and there will be some, won't there?
Well, there could be some hail today, I suppose, yes, but we saw tornadoes yesterday. I think 10 to 12 were reported across a huge area from Hampshire to Nottinghamshire, and that's what happened. A caravan actually turned on its side, roofs were ripped off, as well as garage doors. The good news is today is going to be a lot quieter, although still very windy. We could see some showers, but not as bad as yesterday. Let's take a look at the weather.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Nestle cereals. Whole grain for the whole family every morning.
So a lot of shower clouds across the country this morning. You can see some clear skies to the south where we're seeing some sunshine. A lot of thick cloud to the northeast. That's where we're seeing some shower rain. In between, some brighter skies, but showers moving from the north to the south because the wind's coming in from the north and blowing them quite quickly across the country. Heading underneath the cloud, you can see where the showers are currently. They've been moving across the country very quickly and they will be heavy in places. That means that most of us will be getting wet at some point today, but there will be some clearing skies behind. So if we jump to around 8 o'clock, you can see the showers have moved southwards and we're seeing some clearing skies behind. To the north, we're seeing some outbreaks of rain that will continue through the day across Angus as well as Aberdeenshire, up towards Moray Firth as well as Caithness and Sutherland. But to the west, that's where we're seeing some clearing skies now, perhaps even a little bit of sunshine. Northern Ireland seeing more in the way of cloud, but that will break up this afternoon. Heading further south, you can see those showers are moving across to Wales currently, and they will continue to move their way southwards. That means for the West Country, you could see 1 or 2 showers as we head through the morning into the afternoon. Central southern England seeing some brighter skies this morning, but you will see those showers this afternoon continuing right the way through the afternoon as they head their way southwards. So this is the picture this afternoon. The most frequent bursts across central and eastern areas of England. To the north, 1 or 2 showers, but also some brighter skies. Always a strong wind, a relentless wind coming in from the north to northwest. And as you can see, some more cloud as well as some outbreaks of rain across the north and northeast there. Now, tonight's going to be a much colder night. You will really notice it tomorrow morning as you wake up. Frost on the cards across the Highlands of Scotland and elsewhere, temperatures into single figures. So wrap up warm tomorrow. You may want your heating on tonight if it hasn't already been switched on, because tomorrow's going to feel really autumnal. The wind again coming in from the north there, brighter skies to the west and to the south. To the east, though, that's where we continue to see those showers. Here's your summary. For your local 5-day weather update, visit our website, gm.tv.
All right, let's get the news now. Here's Penny.
Thanks very much. Good morning. The Health Secretary, Alan Johnson, has told GMTV that patient care and eradicating hospital superbugs are his priorities. He'll set out his plans for the future of the health service in a speech at the Labour Party conference today. It comes as a survey of doctors reveals that some patients are dying early because resources are being rationed in the NHS. A senior police officer has warned about the dangers some drivers from Eastern Europe pose on British roads. Chief Inspector Rick Dell from Dorset Police said some migrants had an outdated attitude to drink driving and couldn't understand road signs. He said one reason might be that laws aren't as strictly enforced in Eastern European countries. A week ago, the Chief Constable of Cambridgeshire, Julie Spence, called for more resources to deal with migrant workers. Burmese monks marching against the military leaders in their country have continued their protest despite a broadcast warning of military action. The 8th day of demonstrations takes place as President Bush plans to announce new sanctions against the country's rulers. Troops serving in Iraq and Afghanistan are to get a council tax rebate under new plans from the government. Anyone who pays the tax on a property in Britain while serving a tour of duty will be eligible for the rebate worth £140 a year. It comes after the head of the army criticised soldiers' treatment. Coronation Street stole the show at the Inside Soap Awards last night, winning 5 awards, including Best Soap. It's been 10 years since it last won that award. Nick Dixon was there to witness the celebrations.
Some put their glad rags on, some didn't bother, and for others it was a chance to get out of the kitchen.
It's like a week today that it finished, and it's the first time since that I've proper like hair and makeup and a little dress and stuff, so it's been quite nice actually.
As for the awards, well, it took the cast more than a decade, but Coronation Street finally took the Best Soap crown from EastEnders, and one of its stars, Anthony Cotton, was named Best Actor, his 3rd award, and he seems to be running out of places to put them all.
I do have one. I'm not telling you which one, it's not one of these, but I do have one that is perfectly shaped to put a toilet roll on the top of.
Not to be outdone, EastEnders picked up 5 individual awards, including Best Actress for Lacey Turner, who was also part of the Best Couple with Charlie Clements, though they were both overshadowed by the award of the night.
I can't believe it. I've actually got a piece of perspex that says Best Bitch on it, and I could do a bit of damage with it as well. I can't believe it.
Who needs an Oscar when you can have that on your mantelpiece?
Yeah, along with a number of animals from Crofts, probably. 7:35, I'm back at the top of the Best Bitch. I mean, you wouldn't want that, would you?
I don't know, it's better than nothing.
Not at all, really. Would you like that rather than nothing?
There'd be too many people fighting for it here. That was a joke, it was a joke, it was a joke!
It's a terrible slight on all your female colleagues. You nasty
And there used to be some female fans out there, no longer.
Exactly.
I take it back. The time is 25 minutes to 8. In the next half an hour, we're going to be talking to the former SAS man, Andy McNab, as Kate and Jerry McGann hire teams of ex-SAS and MI5 experts to launch their own hunt for little Madeleine.
And 6 months on, why Japanese police are no closer to finding the killer of Lindsay Hawker.
Children often leave their crusts, so Hovis created Invisible Crust. There's no crust to see, so there's nothing to leave, and none of the goodness is wasted. Hovis Invisible Crust.
Hands up, who wants to try delicious Bassett's Soft and Chewy Omega-3 with vitamins? The delicious way to take Omega-3.
Hi.
Ready to go?
Thanks. I had fun tonight. Call me soon.
Indulge in heavenly soft centres wrapped in Swiss chocolate. When chocolate tastes this good, heaven can't wait. And introducing Heaven Pearls, the perfect gift. Heaven can't wait.
Gently clear baby's scalp with Dentinox Cradle Cap Treatment Shampoo. Gentle and effective.
Knightsbridge, 3.5 million cash.
I'll take it, but I only deal in plastic now.
And your family, they're bankrupt.
Evict them.
Monopoly Here and Now, Electronic Edition. Oh dear, there's been a terrible mix-up. We've put real Visa prepaid cards in some of these boxes and real cash in some of these. You can win up to £1,000. Monopoly Instant Win. In store now.
Have you tried Mission Deli Wraps yet? They make everyday food more exciting. Just choose your favourite fillings and you can make a tasty, satisfying wrap in seconds. Look for Mission in the bakery aisle. It's the one in a resealable pack.
Trouble with bathroom plug holes? Maybe you just don't love them enough. Bring on Buster. Buster Bathroom Drain Clear dissolves hair and soap, getting bath and shower plug holes back on the move. Give your plug holes some love with Buster Bathroom Drain Clear, because plug holes need love too.
I wish I'd got some biscuits.
Cheers. At Cost Cutter, we've been there for your everyday essentials for the past 21 years.
TV mag.
Thanks.
Mom, have we got any crisps?
So why not check out our great 21st anniversary offers? Like Flash All-Purpose Cleaner is now half price, and new Febreze Air Care is also half price. And look, Fairy Active Burst dishwasher tablets are again half price. Cost Cutter, 21 years of great value offers.
I promise never to say, my mum thinks you're holding the baby wrong. I promise to do at least my fair share of nappy changing and night feeding.
Understanding parents, understanding babies. For infant nutrition, trust the experts. SMA, we know.
Do we care if Victoria is about to kill off Posh? You bet we do. Bella, out now, 80p.
She's been hailed as the greatest living white soul singer. Tomorrow, the legendary Annie Lennox performs her latest single, live on GMTV.
It's just turned 20 minutes to 8. Kate and Jerry McCann have reportedly hired a team of ex-SAS soldiers and MI5 agents to try and find their daughter Madeleine. There have been 2 reported separate independent sightings of the little girl in Morocco. Control Risks Group specialises in finding abduction victims. And we can cross live now to Matt Arnold, who's with former SAS soldier Andy McNab. Matt.
Good morning to you, Ben, and good morning to you, Andy, as well. I think it's probably fair to explain that we have you in silhouette because you're always in silhouette. You can't give away your location, and you're the only author, I believe, who's still writing, who has to run his scripts past the MOD. It's a terrorist threat against your own life is why we have to do this, is that right?
That's right, yeah. There's been sort of 2 serious death threats, and it's just been sensible with it.
OK, well, thanks very much for coming on the programme this morning and telling us about how a group like Control Risks Group might be playing a part in the investigation. I think the first question everyone would like to know is, who are Control Risks Group and what do they do?
Well, you know, CRG are one of the big players in the security field, and they have sort of many sort of departments. You know, they've got guys working in places like Afghanistan or Iraq, and also sort of a lot of people who are involved in hostage negotiations, working with insurers, trying to get people who are maybe oil workers or are working in Southeast Central Asia to try and get them out safely. So they have many different departments.
And they employ people like yourself, former SAS officers for a start off, and presumably policemen as well?
Yes, many people. There'll be ex-military guys, ex-special forces, police, anybody that's got certain skills which is going to help them in this security field.
OK, so how would the way that they would operate differ from what the Portuguese police have been up to?
Well, I think if you look at what's been happening with the police and all police forces, initially there'll be the effort to try and find what would be called at the moment the target. You know, to take out any emotion from sort of you know, it's a young child or you know, sort of 60-year-old adult. It's just called the target. Initially, the police effort will be trying to find the target. At some stage, that's got to stop, and then the investigation is on to find out who the perpetrator of that abduction is. What happens is certainly CRG Group or anybody involved in this now will then just go beyond that, because the mission statement is different. It's all about finding the target, not finding the person who abducted the target, but the target. Let's find the target.
So it's called a mission statement. It's treated as a military-esque mission then.
Oh, absolutely, and in a lot of operations that are conducted, if you like, the mission statement is said twice. So there's when these orders are given for these guys, because nothing is more important than the mission, and the mission is to find the target.
What themes might they have been working on? What clues that they been investigating that perhaps the police have missed out on then, in your opinion?
Well, it's very difficult. Obviously, they'll be looking at what the Portuguese police have been inquiring about, and obviously, you know, they would go to Portugal. They've got to keep in the law of the land. You know, it's not like the films where these guys are going to go screaming in and breaking into buildings and interrogating people. It doesn't work like that. You know, these guys have got to work within the jurisdiction of the country.
Well, I was there in the first few days, and I could imagine that easily there could have been ex-SAS people amongst me. Maybe I'd have thought they were media or something.
No, absolutely, and that'd be part of the job, because it's all about sort of, rather than sort of going in there overtly, it's just being the grey man, getting in there and getting the information. Whether that's, you know, befriending the police, trying to find out from different Portuguese organisations, but what they've got, obviously, is they've got the McCanns as well, the McCanns and the McCanns' friends, where they can collate all that information and then work from the information that they got to then bypass the police investigation to find the target, the mission.
Well, it's fascinating. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. They've been employed allegedly since May. Let's hope it has a positive outcome.
Absolutely.
Andy McNab from a secret location. Back to you in the studio.
Matt, thanks very much.
The time is 16 minutes to 8 now on this Tuesday morning. It's 6 months since Lindsay Hawker was found dead in a Japanese apartment after moving to the country to teach English. The only named suspect in the case still hasn't been caught. And today, Lindsay's father, Bill, will hand out leaflets at Heathrow Airport, reminding travellers to Japan that a killer is still at large. As you can see, Bill is here this morning. We'll be speaking to him in a moment. But first, this report from Anna Thomas.
6 months ago today, 22-year-old Lindsay Hawker was brutally beaten and strangled in a Tokyo apartment. She'd gone there to give an English lesson to this man, Tatsuya Ichihashi. When police arrived to question him after Lindsay was reported missing, he fled. Inside his flat, police were met with an horrific scene. Lindsay buried in a bath of sand on the balcony. Despite a nationwide manhunt, Japanese police have failed to find Ichihashi, the only suspect in the case. Shortly before she died, Lindsay left her boyfriend a message on a website. It read, "Love you lots, don't worry about the guy who chased me home, it's just crazy Japan."
More crazy than Lindsay ever thought, and certainly that her family ever thought. Bill, thank you for coming in this morning. I know you found that very, very hard, even looking at that report there.
I did.
Yeah,
yes.
As would have been expected. How have you coped over the past 6 months?
Well, as a family unit, we've tried to pull together. Lindsay has got 2 sisters.
Yeah.
Both myself and my wife have got to support Lindsay's 2 sisters. But together as a unit, we're trying to move forward. It's obviously not very easy. No. Nobody knows what we're going through unless you've lost a daughter yourself. Today we're just reminding people that he's still out there. Yeah. My daughter's killer is still there and we want him caught. We know Lindsay's never coming home again, but it would give us just a little bit of peace if we thought that this horrible man was caught.
All right, let me just show the poster or the leaflets that you're going to be handing out at Heathrow Airport today.
That's right, yes.
For travellers to Japan, and there he is. He was actually questioned by police at his flat, wasn't he, where they found Lindsay, and then he escaped before police could do anything else. And as you say, he's still on the run. So you just want to remind travellers going to Japan that that is the fact, don't you, Bill?
Yes, I want to put this man's face in as many people's minds as possible. The Japanese police are convinced that Ichihashi is still in the country. And anybody who's travelling to Japan today, we'd like to remind them that he's still around and my daughter's murderer is still free.
When you came in, you actually had a T-shirt on with this man's face on. I mean, are you living with this image of him every single day now? Is this man's face etched in your mind, and that until he's caught, that will be the case?
No, no. I'm living with the image that I've lost my daughter.
Yeah.
You know, the most important thing is that as a family we've got to try and pull together. We want this man caught. He's likely to offend again, I'm sure he has. He targeted my daughter, he followed her, so we can't rest until he's caught. We've done a lot of work, but there's more work to be done. We're not going to give in until Tatsuya Chatter is brought to justice. I've said this statement before, but we're only doing what any other parents would do in this situation.
Absolutely. All right, Laura is sitting next to you, and Laura, you were friends with Lindsay since about the age of 14. In fact, everywhere you went, you came as a pair, didn't you, the two of you, really?
Yeah, we did tend to, right the way through school, and even when we sort of separated and went off to different universities, we were very close right the way through.
Well, and I know that as she told you she was going to Japan, she shared her whole life with you, really. Were you worried when you heard she was setting off for Japan?
No, not in the slightest, because Lindsay was a sensible girl. She was very safety conscious, and I think that's the terrifying thing about this case, is Lindsay wasn't naive. It could have happened to anyone. But no, I had no worries about her going away.
She did contact you, didn't she? What was the last message you had from Lindsay?
The last message I had was just saying that she might be staying out there. Her boyfriend Ryan was hoping to join her, and that she might be staying out for another 6 months or so, but that was still all sort of up in the air, and we were planning for... I was planning to go out when I graduated in June, but a week previously I had had an email from her saying that she'd been followed home by this man.
But she was a sort of girl that really thought she could handle anything, couldn't she? She was
No, she was a confident girl. She was a very tall, good-looking girl. She couldn't think she could handle anything, but she'd lived on her own at Leeds University for 3 years. She was streetwise and she was sensible.
That's what I meant by that, yeah. Well, all the very, very best with what you're doing today, Bill. And Laura, thanks very much for coming in. And we do have a lot of contacts on our website, actually. You can find out how you can support the campaign for justice for Lindsay on our website. There are various other website addresses on there too.
Now then, after 8 o'clock, we're going to be talking about Britney Spears, talking to her former bodyguard who claims she's a drug-taking alcoholic.
And phone delivery, how a rookie 999 operator helps when a baby came too soon.
Yeah. Is it the head coming out? Okay, the head's coming. The head's coming, okay, right, you need to support the baby's head and shoulders, okay?
Babies love to bounce, but did you know that zebras do too? The Bounce and Spin Zebra from Fisher-Price. It's got great moves, cool twists and turns. Put a little bounce in your baby's day. New from Fisher-Price.
Play, laugh, grow. Welcome to Planet U. Your intestines, to be precise. Here are some of the 100 trillion bacteria that call this 24-foot ecosystem home. These friendly Lactobacillus casei shirota are found in Yakult and have been proven by our scientists to help the beneficial bacteria multiply and thrive. A healthy gut makes for stronger natural defences. Yakult, taking care of Planet U.
Does searching for car insurance drive you crazy?
110. 10% online discount.
With everyone talking about cheaper car insurance, but who should you listen to? Who actually could save you money? That's where Confused.com comes in. Confused.com is an amazing site where you compare prices for your car insurance. Fill out one form and they do all the legwork. They go to Admiral, More Than, Norwich Union Direct and many more. What can be easier? That's Confused.com. You could save a bundle.
Hi.
Hi.
Come in. Allow me.
Oh, I brought champagne.
Fantastic. I'll just pop it in the fridge.
So, what's for dinner?
You'll have to wait and see.
Ooh,
Very romantic.
Shall we go through?
Tesco Direct. Choose from thousands of products and have them delivered direct to your door. You can order everything from furniture to fridges and sheds to beds. It's all on our website.
So, what have you got planned for later?
Nothing, really.
Tesco Direct. Every little helps.
Discover the third dimension in jigsaws. Puzzle Ball's unique curved pieces fit perfectly together to create amazing 3D spheres such as the Earth, Disney Princess, and The Simpsons. Puzzle Ball makes puzzling in the round really fun and rewarding. Discover uniqueness, Ravensburger.
Wow!
Cleaner close down under, where Vince has gone to find his brother.
Glenn! Hello?
Oh, straight me koala, Glenn. Loving the new look.
What the flaming heck, Glenn? It's me, your long-lost brother from England.
All the way from England, eh? How comes your eggs still smell lovely and fresh?
That'll be Daz. Keeps me clothes smelling fresh for ages. Bonza! Let's do a wash now, eh?
The scent lasts flaming ages, but will the brotherly love?
The closer you get, the better you look, baby. The better you look, the more I want you. When you turn on your smile, I feel my heart go wild. I'm like a child with a brand new toy.
With 3 triple platinum discs and over 5 million albums sold, the Sugar Babes grace the studio to sing About You. Monday on GMTV.
Lotus Thirst Pockets with Schlurp technology. Sponsors of GMTV Pick of the Day.
Michael's here. Big night last night at the Soap Awards. We're going to crash through that because Corrie have taken all the crowns, haven't they?
Well, they have. They took the big one, which is the big Soap of the Year award. The EastEnders have won it the last 10 years. Corrie picked it up. You'll find all about it in the news, Ben. We haven't got time. We've got to move on.
Oh, no, because I want to talk about Doctor Who.
Yeah, things are leaking about the new series of Doctor Who. Obviously, he's got Catherine Tate on board as his new assistant. And we can tell you they're going back to the Roman times. They're going back to Mount Vesuvius to see the historic erection of Pompeii. That's right. So it's quite good, because loads of complaints. Do you remember last year about the series? Saying it was only going back to the 80s in Earth, or it was going back to random planets. But now they're actually going back in a time machine, going back into time, so it should be good.
And don't they have to choose between saving the population or just getting out of there?
Exactly. And I think we know what they're going to do, don't we?
Yes.
You know, I'm an expert on the Romans. Because my little boy had a school project, and as we all know, it's not the children that do the projects, it's the parents. So anything you want to know about the Romans,
did you have to make a Vesuvius?
You're the lady you know.
Woman.
Did you have to make a Vesuvius?
A papier-mâché.
Did you?
No,
brilliant. We really do need to move on though from this.
Sorry.
Talking about children, Bringing Up Baby tonight, Channel 4, 9 p.m. Now, I don't know yet what it's like bringing up children. I know you two do. It's not an exact science. They're looking at 3 of the most popular methods
That's an understatement,
for bringing children up. Tonight we meet Claire. She likes to call them creatures. And she's very strong with her opinions, Mistress says.
Claire believes that babies are manipulative creatures who will take over your life if you don't show them who's boss from day one.
Once she's gone to bed at 7 o'clock, close the door, and that's it until 7 o'clock in the morning. Most times when a baby cries, it's because he's tired or just attention seeking. In both cases, ignore them.
How does a baby know how to attention
See, there's so many reasons why that sounds like great in theory, but, you know, with our Jack at the moment, he can't win very well, so he needs to you go in and burp and then he goes back to sleep.
And my 5-year-old's coming down every single night.
You need to get her around.
Get us a pot round. She was, get into your room. Lock the door.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do,
Yeah,
isn't
you
it?
do.
Also, 9 o'clock tonight, ITV1, shoplifters caught on camera. Now, this is great, right? ITV have given, cameras to shops that are getting a lot of shoplifters going on, and they're filming it, and they're catching them sort of nicking their ready meals and stuff in a quiche. That's what they're doing tonight. And then they make them take the shoplifters and face the shop owners.
They don't make them make the quiche.
Oh, no, don't make them make quiche. That'd be ridiculous, Ben. That'd be ridiculous.
Stop the shoplifting.
Take a look at it in action.
Derek moves into Errol's office, monitoring suspects on camera. Steve is waiting in our van, parked just outside. They're in radio contact.
Yeah, Sierra 1 Delta 1 receiving.
As soon as Derek spots a thief leave the shop, Steve will make an arrest. And a short while into their first shift, Derek thinks he's spotted one.
Here he goes. Watch that tonight. Also, 9 o'clock. I've got to squeeze this in because it's great. You Can't Find Me, I'm Famous. It's a fantastic series. They've had like Naomi Campbell, Jade Goody. Tonight, it's Julie Goodyear. Very famous back in Coronation Street. She came back for a big return. She was there for 17 days before she got the boot. Watch it, 9 o'clock BBC 2.
All the explanation
Oh, yes, we find out why.
And it's The Last of Tried, BBC 2 at 9 o'clock, which has been the best series in the world.
Yeah, Andrew likes that too.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Michael, thank you very much.
No problem. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. And now it's over to Claire, who has some extraordinary weather to report.
Oh, well, yesterday was pretty awful. This time yesterday, actually, we saw tornadoes across the country. In fact, I think 10 to 12 were reported across a huge area from Hampshire to Nottinghamshire. Fairly common in the UK. I'd say reported spread 30 to 35 a year, but not as potent, not as violent as the ones we do see in the US. And yesterday we did see quite a few wreaked havoc across a huge area. Today's going to be a much quieter day. Let's take a look.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Nestle cereals. Whole grain for the whole family every morning.
It's another blustery day. We are going to see some showers, but the winds aren't going to be as strong as yesterday morning once the cold front cleared through. We can see on the satellite picture where the clear skies are and also where the shower cloud is. You can see a stretch of cloud coming in across Wales as well as northern counties of England and the North Midlands. Heading underneath the cloud, there's a lot of showers around. To the north, we're seeing some clearing skies, but it's all going to change because the weather is moving very quickly. So you may see some sunshine for a time, but then perhaps some showers later on. So we can see where the showers were in the last hour or so. They are now moving their way eastwards with some sunshine to follow, and it does mean for some of you you're going to be getting away with a bright and dry start today, a rather chilly start in places. For the northern half of Scotland, you can see more in the way of clouds, showery cloud and rain there. And heading across to Northern Ireland, it's a mostly dry start, and we are seeing just the odd shower, but also some cloudy skies. Across Wales, 1 or 2 showers likely this morning as that shower band gradually moves its way southwards. So for the West Country, in the next few hours, you are likely to see those showers. Temperatures holding up around 10 Celsius here. It's going to be a lot chillier tomorrow morning. Central southern England, as well as East Anglia, as well as the southeast, seeing a dry start today, some brighter skies also. But then over the next hour or so, we are likely to see those showers gradually move their way southwards. And they're moving on a very strong wind, the wind coming in from a northwesterly direction, so through the afternoon, particularly for East Anglia as well as the southeast, East Midlands, you are likely to see those showers coming and going. For Northern Ireland, Northern England, southern parts of Scotland, Wales, the West Midlands as well as the West Country, I think we see fewer showers, more in the way of sunshine. Still very blustery. If you can shelter from that blustery breeze, temperatures probably up to around 17 Celsius. But for Scotland, where we'll continue to see that showery rain, only 11 to 13 Celsius. Now tonight could be the night you turn on your central heating if you haven't done so already, because it's going to be a very chilly night. Temperatures into single figures. Tomorrow morning it's going to feel significantly colder, really autumnal. So wrap up warm if you're heading out, and the sunshine will come out away from the southeast where we'll continue to see the showers. Here's your summary. Find out what's in store for the next 5 days on our website, gm.tv.
Good morning. The man who lived with Britney. We're talking to her former bodyguard about the truth of her drinking and drug taking.
Is it the head coming out?
Okay, the head's coming.
The head's coming. Okay, right, you need to support the baby's head and shoulders, okay?
Giving birth by phone, the 999 operator who talked a couple through their third delivery.
And we're meeting the 13-year-old girl trapped on a cliff and the incredible bravery of her rescuer. He's going to be here too. That's what we're talking about today, this Tuesday, the 25th of September, 2007. Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday morning. You're watching GMTV today.
So we've got Britney's bodyguard and plenty of high drama to come on GMTV today this morning.
First of all, though, let's get the day's news stories from Penny.
Thanks very much. Good morning. The Prime Minister, Gordon Brown, has set out his vision for the future of the NHS. He wants to see hospitals deep cleaned to get rid of superbugs and every adult getting a regular checkup. The Health Secretary, Alan Johnson, will expand on the proposals at the Labour Party conference today. But a new survey suggests that patients are dying early because NHS trusts are rationing resources. John Stapleton's at the Labour Party conference in Bournemouth. John.
Yes, good morning to you again, Penny. According to this survey, 1 in 6 doctors saying that patients are dying because of rationing within the NHS, and around half of them saying they've been asked not to prescribe treatments or drugs for things like obesity, high cholesterol, and to people who want to give up smoking. In fact, some of them say that patients' welfare depends largely on where they live. The system is such a lottery. Important to stress, of course, that there's bound to be some kind of rationing within a system like the NHS. The interesting thing about this survey says that the problem is actually getting worse. I don't know whether Mr Johnson will refer to that in his speech later this morning. We do know that he will offer better protection to NHS staff who work alone. He's going to give them alarm systems, and he's also going to increase the budget to prosecute those guilty of such offences. He'll also talk about new powers for the NHS regulator, who will be able to close down and clean up dirty wards and impose fines on those hospitals who don't keep those wards in the condition they should be kept in. A little bit earlier on GMTV, Alan Johnson, the Health Secretary, of course, referred to his ultimate aim with regard to superbugs like MRSA and C. difficile.
We've already had a lot of success in reducing the incidence of MRSA, but I don't want to get it down. We've got a target of reducing it by 50%. I want to get it down to 0.
Alan Johnson talking a little bit earlier on GMTV. And one of the interesting sideline from down here in Bournemouth at a fringe meeting last night, the Defence Secretary Des Brown, talking about Afghanistan, said that in his view, in the end, the British government's going to have to talk to the Taliban if they want to resolve the crisis there. And that's interesting, of course, because traditionally British governments never talk to terrorist organisations. Maybe that's going to change. Penny.
John, you look lovely bathed in sunlight down there in Bournemouth. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you do too, Penny.
Not bathed in the sunlight in Bournemouth like you, though, John. Thank you. Troops serving in Iraq and Afghanistan are to get a council tax rebate under new plans from the government. Anyone who pays the tax on a property in Britain while serving a tour of duty will be eligible for the rebate worth £140 a year. The head of the army recently criticised the treatment of soldiers serving on the front line. A senior police officer has blamed a rise in road crashes on a cavalier attitude by Eastern European motorists to drink driving. He is the second senior member of the police to link foreign nationals with criminal behaviour this month. Here's Julian Drucker.
It is the most specific and detailed link yet between the issue of drink driving and that of immigration. In a newspaper interview, the head of Dorset Police's traffic unit, Rick Dowell, said the reason for a surge of accidents is clear. He says the attitude of Eastern European drivers to road safety is not as educated as ours in this country. The legislation isn't enforced as rigorously. Perhaps they don't appreciate the dangers of it. His opinion has already been criticised by some MPs and Polish nationals who've said the laws on drink driving are stricter in certain parts of Eastern Europe. Already this month, the Chief Constable for Cambridgeshire, Julie Spence, called for more resources to cope with an influx of migrant workers in her county. But Chief Inspector Dowell says he's simply highlighting a problem and not finding a scapegoat.
Thousands of Burmese monks marching against the military leaders in the country have continued their protest and are heading towards the capital, Rangoon, despite a broadcast warning of military action. The 8th day of demonstrations are taking place as President Bush plans to announce new sanctions against the country's rulers. A record fine of £250,000 has been handed down to GMTV's phone line provider Opera Telecom. It's the biggest fine imposed by Ixtus, the telephone regulator, and follows an investigation into how Opera picked potential competition winners before phone lines closed. The Ixtus report said that over nearly 4 years, at least 18 million viewers were charged for entering GMTV phoning competitions when they had no chance of winning. GMTV's managing director Paul Corley said that Opera Telecom accepted liability for their failures and apologised to GMTV and our viewers. He said both companies have worked hard to recompense viewers and put into place a comprehensive series of remedies. These include refunds for those affected, 250 free draws worth £10,000 and a £250,000 donation to Childline. The television regulator Ofcom is expected to announce the findings of its report into GMTV's role soon. Coronation Street stole the show at the Inside Soap Awards last night, winning 5 awards, including Best Soap. It's 10 years since it won that particular award. Nick Dixon was at the celebrations.
Some put their glad rags on, some didn't bother, and for others it was a chance to get out of the kitchen.
It's like a week today that it finished, and it's the first time since that I've proper like hair and makeup and a little dress and stuff, so it's been quite nice actually.
As for the awards, well, it took the cast more than a decade, but Coronation Street finally took the Best Soap crown from EastEnders, and one of its stars, Anthony Cotton, was named Best Actor, his third award, and he seems to be running out of places to put them all.
I do have one. I'm not telling you which one, it's not one of these, but I do have one that is perfectly shaped to put a toilet roll on the top of.
Not to be outdone, EastEnders picked up 5 individual awards, including Best Actress for Lacey Turner, who was also part of the Best Couple with Charlie Clements, though they were both overshadowed by the award of the night.
I can't believe it. I've actually got a piece of perspex that says Best Bitch on it, and I could do a bit of damage with it as well. I can't believe it.
Who needs an Oscar when you can have that on your mantelpiece?
Finally, on the website this morning, find out who are the worst offenders for sending inaccurate bills. Our household herbs, the